Spurs beat the Suns in the final seconds last night after Victor Wembanyama drained a go-ahead 17-foot fadeaway with 1 second on the clock. That shot became Wemby's first go-ahead field goal in the final 10 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime. He had previously missed on 5 attempts. Spurs also clinched a playoff spot with a win for the first time since 2019. But we go back to that game winner I just mentioned. How huge was that moment for Wemby? What do you think, Wendy?
So I really just enjoyed the way the whole game ended. They went to him on the wing, and this is where he is a differentiation guy because he can take the ball on the wing like he's LeBron James or Luka Doncic or Kobe Bryant and create his own shot. And then him celebrating. Look, Shay, the last time they made the playoffs in San Antonio, he was 15 years old. Okay, it hasn't happened this decade. And, you know, he has really rallied that fan base, and he's calling for the drum that he started this tradition. It wasn't their marketing department that started the tradition. He wanted to make a tradition at the end of the game, and he called for the drum, and he came out and pounded the drum. These are the moments that in their rise are going to be so special. What I will remember about this game, he made the shot over this Suns young guy, Oso Ighodaro. He's a young big man. Ighodaro had this amazing moment earlier in the game where he went at Victor. Watch Oso on this play. This is as anybody has gone at Victor all year long. Look at that. Get out of my way. Scores. That's an awesome play. And then Oso plays tremendous defense on this last play. Victor gets to go back at him and make the shot over the end. This is the kind of stuff that I get excited about. And Stephen A., in 1995, I was in high school. I don't remember what, Bob Ryan and Mike Lupica and Snapper Jones and Bill Walton were talking about when they were talking about Shaq in his third season. But I'm sure they believed that the Magic weren't necessarily ready to go on a playoff run. But I do remember, and I know it was number 45, Michael Jordan. I know it wasn't Jordan in his prime. But I remember Shaq going into Chicago and having an amazing Game 6 and closing out the Bulls and beating the Pacers in 7. And next thing you know, a third-year Shaquille O'Neal was in the finals. And I have immense respect for the Thunder, but I'm very sensitive to the one-off nature of Victor and not to take anything off the table for him either.
Well, you can't take anything off the table for him. The brother's 7'5" with skills. And his skills are so special that he resents the fact that you bring up that he's 7'5" because he doesn't want you looking at his height and thinking that's the reason that he is as gifted as he is. In his mind, he's got a handle, he's got a mid-range game, he's got a three-point shooting game, he's got a post game, and he's an elite defender. So he looks at it and says to himself, don't just look at my height. There's been some dudes in the NBA, the Yao Mings of the world, the Sean Bradleys of the world, the Manute Bowles of the world, and others who have been above 7'3", even a Porzingis in this day and age. They ain't me. That's his mentality, and he plays like it. And that's why I think when you see him hit a game winner like that, it's so important because he's not somebody who is great just because of his skill. He's somebody that's great because of what's in here. He wants it. He's not scared. He wants the smoke. He wants the moment. He knows that he is the face of the franchise. He knows that the expectations for the San Antonio Spurs rest on his shoulders. And what do? They already got 52, 53 wins on the season. They're top 2 seed in the Western Conference. And you see the way these guys rally around him. Castle, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes and these brothers. You see the way they rally around him. They know who he is. They know what they have. They know how special he is. And then he goes out there on a night in, night out basis, and he shows it to you. 24.3 points, 51% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three-point range, okay? 11.1 rebounds per game and leads the league in blocks by a full block for obvious reasons. The brother is special, and they've translated it into winning. And even then, with all of this going on, he's telling us, Shay, he's telling us, Wendy, it ain't enough. They chant MVP. It ain't enough. He want the MVP. He want the Defensive Player of the Year. And he won a championship. And we are sitting here in his third year in the league, and we can legitimately say we can't rule out any of the three. Think about that. We can't rule out, we know he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. We can't rule out that he could win MVP. because they're winning, and he's a top candidate for MVP honors because he deserves it because of what he does on both ends of the floor. And you can't rule out the possibility that the San Antonio Spurs may win the chip. All three things he's in line for. And he's literally telling you, not only does he want all three, he's coming for all three. And then to go out and do that last night, he's just letting you know there's levels to this. And he's on a level very few have ever seen.
I agree with that. And the fact that the Spurs have had the Thunder number all season long matters, obviously. Wendy, I know you had thought the experience would be a problem for the Spurs, but now that they're showing ways to win, late game situations, Wemby with the ball in his hands and making shots in clutch time, all very impressive. I like the Spurs coming out of the West, but we'll see.
Yesterday on Get Up, Sean Sharania broke the news that Cade Cunningham has a collapsed lung and is expected to miss an extended period of time. So with that in mind, the Pistons will be one and done in the playoffs. Is that Nick nuts?
First of all, I was heartbroken to hear this news. I want to make that very clear.
Thank you.
Cade has just been great all year. And this is not the end of the season for him, so we hope he makes a speedy recovery and can get back. But to the basketball of it all, unfortunately, Barry, that is not McNuts. He is the centerpiece. The guy is averaging practically a double-double in terms of the assists, getting his guys involved and putting them in positions to be successful, and, of course, his scoring prowess. As the centerpiece, as the hub, this is a monster loss for the Detroit Pistons.
Amon, do you agree?
Yeah, I got to agree. He's so ball dominant. He does so many great things for them, especially in the fourth quarter. Headed into the playoffs without having a rhythm with him and then having to trust if he does come back, if he'll be in shape, if he'll be equipped to do what he was once doing for them earlier on in the season. It's a tough one for them.
Yeah, and again, yesterday when Sean was on the show, he said a matter of weeks. That could mean 2, that could mean 8. We just don't know enough yet. Next up, we should pencil the Celtics, maybe because of this, into the NBA Finals. Is that McNuts?
It is not McNuts, but I think whether we looked at it through the lens of the loss in Detroit or not, it wasn't McNuts to pencil them in anyway, because the differentiating factor when you look at what's happening in the Eastern Conference is this is a group whose core still has championship experience. And so we all knew that they were boosted when they got number 0 back.
Amon, how dangerous are the Celtics now with Tatum and Brown together?
I really like it. I love the rhythm of them. It's dangerous because they've won before. They can taste the blood in the water. They can smell the blood in the water with things happening over there in Detroit, and their eyes are lighting up. I think that the Knicks will have something to say about it. I think that the Cavs will have something to say about it, but I like the Celtics' chances climbing up the East.
It was only a matter of time for Tatum to get involved. Joe Fortenbaugh, the human, is he McNuts?
No, and I love all his colorful wardrobe choices. Energy. You're welcome, my guy.
Also McNuts. Amon, we'll see you next hour. Thank you. Let's continue the madness of March with the women's tournament, which gets underway